Right. From now on, when I mention about our thoughts and feelings, or thought memories and feelings, I will refer to the word Jerry, okay? I will represent, I'll use Jerry to round up all these mental, feature in here. Our thoughts, memory, and feelings, okay? Round them into one thing called Jerry. So Jerry is basically the carrier of all our problems, Oh, and then I'm going to explain this, and we're going to do this first before I come back to the 5 elements, okay? Every single human being, they all have the nature of the consciousness, or they all have mental self with the mental I, okay? Consciousness, the core of life, okay? But without the meditation technique, without vipassana, all the consciousness will be blending together with the thoughts and feelings of Jerry. And as I said, Jerry is the carrier of all the problems. Okay, so this is the egg yolk, and Jerry is the egg white. The way that it's blended together is very much like a scrambled egg. Okay, you just don't know what is what. Okay, all scrambled egg, which is the bad mental habits. The bad mental habit lead you to excessive thinking. Where's Bang? อ๋อไปแล้วใช่ไหมอ๋อโอเคนะคะ lead you to the excessive thinking, okay, which cause the mental imbalance, okay, cause the state of misery and suffering, okay. So the difference of what we are doing today is that I try to help you to divert your consciousness instead of to be mingle, okay, struggle with your Jerry all the time, with your thought, the carrier of your problems all the time. We divert the attention of your consciousness to know your breath, your movements, and your physical sensations. Okay? This will become a good mental habit, which is try to make the scrambled egg into a fried egg. Separate the egg yolk from the egg white. Make it very clear in your practice. This is the egg yolk. Use the egg yolk as a subject to look at the egg white, your breath, your movement, your sensation. By doing this, you're going to create yourself the very good mental habit. Old habit die hard. It's very much like, nail biting, twitching here and there. This is a bad mental habit. And even if it's happened on a physical level, it is still very difficult to alter it. Okay, not to mention the bad mental habit which you cannot see. Okay, so we try to alter the bad mental habit into the good mental habit instead of drifting along with your thought or Jerry. Okay, divert it to focus on your breath, your movement, your sensations. And this part, you know that you've got to be persistent to change the mental habit, okay, from bad to good. You really have to have persistence. Got to have patience, persistence. Even nail biting is still take a long time, isn't it? Okay, thumb sucking. Look at children when they suck their thumb. If you suck a dummy, you say, what do you call? Do you call a dummy in Canada? The pacifier. Yeah. In England, we call a dummy pacifier. Okay, it still take it's still easy, you just throw the pacifier away. Okay, but sucking your thumb, sometimes it can go on forever. It took my sons about 6 years, and damage his teeth. Some adult is still sucking the thumb in secret. Okay, so that is, you talk about physical habit. The bad physical habit is still difficult to alter, not to mention, the mental habit, which is unseen, okay? Right, so basically this is something that you have to do. Really patience and persistent, okay? Every time that you know that you are drifting along with your thought, you've got to really, be decisive and then train yourself to come back home, back to your movement and sensation. Keep on doing this. You got to keep on doing this whenever you are doing the structured meditation. Structured meditation means that you sit, you really intentionally, you want to spend this 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do meditation. You've got to really persistently, okay, know your breath movement and sensation without drifting along with Jerry. Is that clear? Okay, so changing from scrambled egg, you don't know what and what. This is very bad, okay? This bad mental habit gives you this excessive thinking and then you cannot switch it off, just like you switch off the lights. So basically, doing this is a matter of switch off the thought, okay, at will. But at first, of course, it's not easy. Thinking of, driving lesson, the first lesson. But as you carry on, as I say, the role model, the Arahant, the fully enlightened people, they can switch off all their thought at will. At will. Can you imagine how good that is? Okay? I don't want you to go away. And they just go away. The Buddha compared like this. Okay? Imagine a dry finger and a wet finger. The street walker who never practiced this skill, this mental skill of vipassana, is very much like a wet fingers. You plunge these wet fingers into a bowl of sesame seeds. What's going to happen? The sesame seed going to stick onto your wet fingers, right? And you try to, shake it off. Is it easy to shake off from a wet fingers? No, it's not easy at all. Maybe you manage, but the more you do, it's all sticky everywhere. And this is life, really. Problems in everyday life is very sticky. You try to solve this problem, another problem surface, and sometimes you so entangle yourself until some moment you just don't know what is what. Until you say that, I don't know whether I'm coming or going, it's just so confusing. Okay, that is a matter of a wet finger, plunging in the sesame seed. In opposed to the fully enlightened people, the Buddha compared that to a dry fingers. When you plunge a dry finger in the bowl of sesame seed, yes, of course, you will have a few seeds, stick onto your fingers, but you can easily shake it off. You can easily just blow it away. Okay? This is how the fully enlightened people solve the problem. Okay? They can solve the problem so easily. And more than that, they can really switch off their thoughts at will, on demand. Okay? This is a massive difference. But this massive difference, I like to motivate you, I like to encourage you, I like to let you know that you can make it happen to you by dedication. Okay? Dedicate your time, commit yourself to this practice, the full foundation of mindfulness. Okay? Vipassana. If you can, really allocate your time daily, keep up with the practice, there will be a day that you can just switch off your thought at will. When you come to a situation, the challenge that you normally got to blow your top off, react with full-blown anger, okay? In that kind of challenge, okay, you can keep you cool, you can keep your calm, okay? And you can be even, quite wise to ditch out, the kind of words, the speech that no one could think of. And this kind of thing, it can happen to you, provided that you commit yourself to the practice, okay? I just like you to see, into the future that this is something that you can expect of anyway. Right, Before I carry on with the rest of the 5 elements that make up a life form is made up of 5 elements. The 5 oh gosh, I find it hard to pronounce that word. 5 elements, okay? So you got the physical self, and then you got the mental self. These 2, we already talked about the relationship, okay? And then there are still 3 more, your thoughts, your memories, and your feelings. I'm going to tell you about this after we do a bit of exercise, okay? The way that we do the exercise, okay, we are going to do it in this way, not this way, okay? You're going to divert all your awareness, all your concentration, not to your cherry, not to your thought, not to your problems. Really be strong, let it go, and then focus on your breath, your movement, your sensations. Okay? We're going to do just 4 movements, just enough to shake off your sluggishness, okay? And let your digestion work a bit more. Did you eat something? Do you have any lunch? Yes, okay, good. Yeah, right. So please, can you just stand up? Stand up, and then I'm going to introduce 4 movements for you. This is something I do it routinely after the meal. After the meal. Okay. Yeah. Find a bit more space so that you don't tumble, or knock onto something. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you 4 movements, and then after you know the whole of 4 movements, we are going to do it with our eyes closed, so that you can fully focus, okay, on your breath, movement, and sensations. There are 4 movements. This is the first one. Beating your stomach. Beat it up like this. Okay, beat it up like that. Okay, so this is the first one that we're going to do. You can see that your breath, movement, sensation. This is really full-blown foundation of mindfulness. Okay, and the second one, swing your arms first, please. Space your feet a bit so that you can have the good balance. Swing your arms first. Once you swing your arms, you're going to bend your knee and create the rhythm. The rhythm. That's it. Create the rhythm. Okay? So this vigorous rhythm is a good foundation of focus. Okay? Good foundation of focus. So with all this movement, one stone, you got 2 birds. Okay? You get your chi energy to flow. Look after your physical health. And then you focus on your foundation of mindfulness as well. So this is called swinging the arms, and then shaking your arms. Shaking your arms, the third one. Back straight. Keep your back straight. Bend your knees a fraction. Bend your knee a fraction. Keep your back straight. Bend your elbow, and then throw your arms down from the shoulders. From the shoulder. So don't do like this. Throw them down from the shoulders. Okay, from the shoulders. Make it really vigorous, because when you close your eyes, the foundation of the home where your mental self can take refuge is very, very obvious to you. So this is shaking the arms. The last one, bend your knees, back straight. Spread your hands out like this. Beating the air, and then turn your torso left and right continuously. Okay, so, right. So we are going to do these 4 movements continuously with your eyes closed. Okay, so once you close your eyes, you're going to focus on your breath, your movement, your sensation continuously. This is the process of reduce, okay, the population of your thought or jerry, okay, so that you can reach that level of stillness, the calm, the peace, right? And then keep you awake as well, because if you sit down, we're going to have someone snoring away. Right, are you ready? Right, everyone, bend your knees, And then, oh, okay, beat your stomach first, please. Beat your stomach. So you can see that when your eyes are closed down, you are in your own little world. I don't mean the little world of your thoughts, okay? I mean that we got no distraction now. And then you can fully focus on your breath, on your movement, on your physical sensation, whichever that is obvious to you. Really focus onto that part. Okay, obviously this one is your movements and the sensations. Fully focused. You can see that it's much easier as well to do it this way. This is still Vipassana. This is still meditation. But we use different technique. With each movement, you can do as long as you want to. But with this one, the limitation is that it reaches a point that your hand getting hurt. So you just want to slow down. Right, that's it, everyone. Please bring your hands down and focus. Focus on your breath and the overwhelming tingling sensations. Don't drift. If you're aware of you're drifting away from home, you must know and then jump off the train of thoughts and come straight to home. Don't linger on. Don't dwell on your problems. Cut the cord. Right, next we're going to do swinging the arms. Swinging the arm and create the rhythm. Create the rhythm. And then focus fully on your breath, on the rhythm of the movements, and on the sensations. You will find that it's more difficult for you to drift away, because the foundation of the movement is quite vigorous, which is a good tool. It's a good technique for you to focus on the foundation of mindfulness. There are 4 foundations of mindfulness. Vipassana and the 4 foundations of mindfulness have exactly the same meaning, okay? But today, I only focus on 2 foundations. The first foundation is a matter of focusing on your breath and the movements. The second foundation, the focus point, is your physical sensations. So, This is where thought, feeling, and thought, movement, and breath, movement, and sensation come from. Which I give the analogy as the home where your mental self can take refuge. The pill that your mental self have to take to reduce your mental pain and misery. Or the car where your mental self have to drive to position B, find your long-lasting inner peace. So these three features are the focus point of today. I don't have time to cover the third and the fourth foundations, not today. But if you have any interest to follow, you can visit my YouTube channel. I got one YouTube channel in Thai and one in English. Go to the playlist. The YouTube channel is called Superone Green. Go to the playlist and find the advanced course. Bring the mental self back home, the advanced course. The advanced course, I will cover the third and the fourth foundation of mindfulness. The third foundation is a matter of focusing on Jerry. Jerry, or a thought, will become the egg white, being observed by your mental eye, the subject. You can only progress to the third foundation when your first two foundations are quite established. The fourth foundation is very much like the stepping stone, one lead to another. You cannot suddenly jump onto the third foundation without establish the basic skill of knowing your breath, your movement, and your sensation first. Because this first two foundations is a matter of reducing the number of your thoughts, reducing all your mental chattering, calm them down first, so that you'll be able to observe Jerry or your thought individually and learn how Jerry deceive you, create the hologram or the elusive world in your head, in your heart. How Jerry messed your life up. That will be the topic of the third foundation. The fourth foundation is the innocent perception, or perception of everything as they truly are, which I connect with all the big words in religions, such as Nirvana, God, Tree of Life, Tao. There are 32 terminologies that I use. Okay, so if you have interest, there are books that I'm quite happy to send copies to you if you have interest. If not, look into my YouTube channel. I cover that without reading. But reading would help to further your understanding as well. So at this stage, we are trying to understand how to cultivate, how to practice the first and the second foundation of mindfulness, so that we can form a very firm foundation for us to step onto the third and the fourth foundation accordingly. In the meantime, I would like to translate the term vipassana for you. I'd like you to use this term vipassana a bit more widely. As a matter of fact, the world have grown to be familiar with this term mindfulness or vipassana more and more now. Vipassana, in English translation, it is translated into inner, inwardly, inner sight or scenery, inner scenery or inner sight, meditation, concentration, focus, the same thing. So Vipassana is inner sight, meditation is really spot on, because this is literally what we are doing, isn't it? That's why we got to have the mental eye, our bindi, our third eye. We use that eye to view the inner sight, the inner scenery. The inner scenery right now are your breath, your movements, the rhythm of your movements, and the physical sensations. These three features are your inner scenery or inner sight, which you've got to focus fully upon. Focus fully upon. So this is the meaning, the literal meaning of Vipassana, which you can see that the actual practice is totally non-religious. Totally non-religious. This is nothing to do with belief. It's not belief, this is very scientific based. We are dealing with something that is so real, so literal, so real, as your breath. Your breath is real. The rhythm of your movement is real. Your sensations are real. Your consciousness, your mental eyes is real. You see, we are using all these real features, making the connection of these real features. The consciousness is your eye, use as your eye, mental eye, third eye. And then you look at your breath, movement, sensations. So you can see that this kind of technique, everyone can do it. It's totally non-religious. We don't at this moment dealing with any kind of belief. And the reason that we do all this is because you all agreed here this morning that mentally you all are facing with certain level of misery and suffering. Parting from someone, something we love is suffering. Being with someone or something we hate is equally suffering. These two sentences cover, round up everything that we know of about life in regard of suffering, misery. So this is the reason why you agree, you want to do this practice, to engage into this practice called Vipassana, which are coined bring your mental self back home. Just give you the image that your mental self, your true self, is being lost in your mental jungle, and that you need to come home. Home is a safe place. No place like home. Okay, so I try to make a conclusion for you to understand why you need to do Vipassana. Not for anyone else, for your own good. Just truly for yourself, for your own sanity. Truly, this is for your own sanity. You do it for your own sanity. Because without this, it can be very troublesome. Right, everyone, please slow down, stand still, and focus on your breath and sensations. Begin to notice whether your mind chattering or this monologue in your head, have it begin to slow down. You begin to see the gap in between the previous thought and the next one that hasn't yet come. If you can see the gap in between the two thoughts, it means that you begin to experience your inner peace. Right, we carry on with the third movement, shaking your arms, keep your back straight, bend your knees a fraction, and shake your arms from the shoulders. If there is any jerry or any thought entering your mind, your head, let it come and let it go freely. Don't hold on to it. It will go naturally. Just simply divert the attention onto your foundation of mindfulness. With the movement like this, you cannot miss it easily because the movement is quite vigorous. A very good, strong point for you to focus on. As I say, you can do all this as long as you wish. I forgot to mention that these movements, especially swinging the arms and shaking the arms like this, or really all of them, this is a very good technique on the day when you are being bombarded by a whole army of jerry, a whole army of thoughts and problems which make you totally dark, being attacked from left, right, and center, up and down. And you just have no idea how to get out of this whole army of your embedded enemies. You're being assaulted. being shot at, and with immense pain, mental pain. A day like that, if it's happened, please always remember these 4 movements. A moment like that, I would not suggest for you to sit still and meditate by watching your breath alone. Your breath alone cannot help you. It's not enough. It's not strong enough to help you to deter Jerry, to get rid of your mental pain. You need something much stronger. I don't advise you to take alcohol, whiskey, have something stronger, no. I advise you to think of these 4 movements. Okay, swing your arms. Really swing your arms. Swing your arm and then fight with Jerry. Shake your arm like this and really focus, focus, focus. This is a matter of trying to strengthen your inner self, your real self up. Because your real self is weak. That's why you cannot deter Jerry. So by bringing your mental self back home like this, you are constantly feeding your mental self, your Tom, I will say later, the nutritious food and vitamin, fatten Tom, the cat up, so that Tom can fight Jerry for you. Basically, this is the whole idea. Keep on feeding Tom with the positive energy, strengthen it up. And then you'll be able to let go. All those pain and misery will be gradually disappear. So this is something that I like you to make a note and always remember to do this. Before you leave, don't forget the beads, the wooden beads. That is another thing that you can use as well to deter Jerry. Right, slow down and stand still. Watch your breath and sensations. We are now trying to alter our bad mental habit into the good one. Now have a look into your heart, into your head. Whether you see the gap between the thoughts. Is the gap lengthening? Is it a bit longer? Can you see your peace, your calm clearly now? If you can see your inner peace clearly right now, I'd like you to shout out to me, yes, when I say 1, 2, 3, okay? Have a look again. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right, we go to the last one, the 4th movement, beating the air And then turn your torso to left and right. Another vigorous movement that can help you on the day that you are being bombarded by a whole army of Jerry with the combat boots. Very painful. I'm sure we all have passed that kind of day before. Broken down relationship, trouble in family, disappointment, grief over something. We all have them. So that's why we got to fight with all this Jerry. And this is also altering the bad mental habit into the good one. Bad mental habit is the excessive thinking leading you to losing control of your mind consciousness. Whereas the good mental habit leading you to moderate thinking and rewarding you with the inner peace, calm, in control, fully in control of your thoughts. And activate all your chi energy to flow freely. Boost your physical health. If you got ache and pain, especially your shoulders pain or these things, it can help a lot. One stone with two birds. You can see that by doing this, the moment that you drift away with your thought is less. Because you cannot miss your rhythm of the movement and sensation. Now please observe inwardly as you are moving vigorously like this. Can you still single out that inner peace and calm and silence? Now have a look. There are two ends. One end is the rhythm of the movement on the physical level. Okay, is quite vigorous, whereas the other end, the eye of the storm, is peaceful, calm, tranquil, and still. Can you spot the two ends of the spectrum clearly? Can you see that all this is all about inner side meditation? It's all about focusing, about exploring into your inner world. So we're just trying to understand by look at the experience literally. Just literally looking into it. Okay, so the rhythm of the movement sensation is within the physical body. One spectrum, one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is the inner peace, embedded with your mental self, your true self. Can you see them clearly? Two ends of the spectrum. If you can see them clearly, please tell me yes. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right, please slow down, stand still, and watch. Watch every scenery that is happening right now. Your breath, the tingling sensations, sensation in your feet, the stillness, the calm, the tranquility. Pick up and notice every little detail. By doing this, you are strengthening the nature of your consciousness, the self-awareness, to be sharper and sharper. In other words, you are sharpening your mental eye, your third eye, to make it having the far better quality. Make it more alert, more awakening, make it sharper. Why? Because this is the preparation to make this tool, the tool is your mental eye, sati, mental eye, sati, to be able to catch the individual Jerry. Because Jerry or your thought entering your head at staggering speed, very fast. There is no physical tool that can capture the speed of your thoughts. The tool that is compatible to catch your thought is your third eye, your mental eye, your bindi, or your consciousness. So the first two foundations of mindfulness is a matter of brushing up, sharpening your mental eyesight at higher quality, so that you can use this higher quality mental eye to catch the individual Jerry on the next stage, next step, so that you can understand how Jerry work, how Jerry create the elusive world, create the matrix world, the hologram in your head, in your heart, and how Jerry deceive you. When you can see that, you will gain your own intuitive knowledge, intuitive wisdom, which allow you to be able to let go, to detach from your problems. So this is something that you can expect of as your practice progressing. Okay, I talk a bit ahead for you so that you know what to expect. But to reach that state that you'll be able to understand Jerry, how it deceived you, so that you can let go, you need to cultivate this basic skill first. Come back to your first and second home. Until you are really skillful, until you can make this silence, this stillness, the peace, the calm, make it stretch a bit longer and longer and longer. And always bear in mind that the peace, the calm at this moment is the nature of the third noble truth that the Buddha had found on the night of his enlightenment. We now have a glimpse of it now. We now have a taste, an appetizer of what the Buddha had experienced, which you can understand why he devoted his whole life to help humanity ever since, to pass on this very precious knowledge and skill to humanity, so that everyone have this immense important skill with them, so that they can deal with their own problems on a daily basis. And luckily, Vipassana survived over 2.5 millennia until we can still talk about it today, until I have a chance to pass on this precious tool and knowledge to all of you here. So please look at this glimpse of peace and calm, how wonderful it is. All your problems haven't been solved yet at this moment. Relationship, work, money, friends, whatever, problem, health. It hasn't been really solved yet externally, but at this moment, your problems has gone from your heart, from your mind. Now this is not about running away from problem, please. Don't think like that. We are not running away from the problems by doing meditation. We just basically try to make our true self, our inner self, make it stronger, so that you have the strength to deal with the problems later on, with the wisdom, with the strength. You will find your own solutions somehow. And even though you cannot find the solution, because not every problems have the solution, even though there is no solution there, if you are stronger, if you have your mental self is strong, you'll be able to have the patience and live with the problems. Suppose if you have cancer and you know you're going to die, it's not going to be cured. Before meditation, you are so afraid of dying, of death, of pain. But if your mental self, inner self is strong, you have no fear. You have no fear of death. You have no fear of cancer. Whatever happens will happen. And you face every challenge, every eventuality with courage, massive courage. And this is something that everyone wants. And my friend, I tell you now that the tool that can help you to reach that state where you can gain all your confidence is Vipassana, is the full foundation of mindfulness, is bring your mental self back home, which is a skill that everyone can start from scratch and make it better and better until you become skillful. Only then will your true self, your mental self, will become very much strong. Have the strength to deal with everything. Every situation will be under control. Keep your cool, keep your calm, under control. And this is wonderful. To me anyway. Right, have a look of your inner peace again. And see that if you put in the cost like that, put in the effort to focus to practice, the result at the other end is your inner peace, is the calm. To make it long-lasting, how to make it long-lasting is to keep up with the practice until one day you become the fully enlightened person. This inner peace will be the long-lasting now, will become your nature, your only nature. You can still use your thought, but you use it when you need it. When you finish with it, you discard of it at will, on demand. So, if you still see the inner peace right now, please shout to me, yes, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Massage your temple, massage your earlobes, breathe onto your face, your arms, the other side, your stomach, your back, and then all over your legs, all over your legs. Okay, and then watch. Now look at the two ends of the spectrum. The overwhelming sensation on one end, within the physical body, the tranquility on the opposite end, within your mental self. Now look at them clearly. Take a deep breath, slowly open your eyes, look downward, open your eyes, look downward. So this angle, 60-degree angle, you reflect in here, in your heart. Your eyes look downward, but your mental eyes look inwardly. Now this is something that you've got to learn to do on a daily basis. Do it all the time. Always check if you see the inner peace in there, always. Because if you lose it, it means that you lose your home, you lose your ground to stand on. You've got to do something, and that something is to bring your mental self back home. Right, please everyone, please be seated. Would you like to take a quick break, and then we come back for the 5 elements?